The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello and welcome to a special Halloween edition of RBGuitarWolf Reactions. My name is Ryland Barnes, and as some of you can see, I am wearing a customized Ghostbusters costume with my last name patched. And in this Halloween episode, we are not going to be reacting to a video. Instead, we are going to be taking a look at something really scary, creepypastas. Yeah, that's right. I said creepypastas. For those of you who don't know what a creepypasta is like something off of the internet where it's like maybe a horror story or a thriller, maybe something like that. Maybe something that's made up, mostly made to freak viewers out. Anyway, this one creepypasta I'm going to read is called The Lost THX Trailer, THX and Randall, and it is a fictional story created by Rohan Hordern, whoever that is, I can't read his name. The story has something to do with a THX trailer that was never released into theaters due to graphic violence, but overall, this is not real, and it is only made for entertainment purposes. For those of you who don't know what THX is a motion picture sound system founded in 1983 by Star Wars writer and director George Lucas, which develops high quality and audio standards for various audio systems, including movie theaters and video games. In just a little bit, we're going to be switching to a different camera angle right in front of me, as it's standing over the computer. Anyway, this is The Lost THX Trailer, THX and Randall, by Rohan Hordern, and fair warning, this may contain frequent amounts of graphic violence, and therefore is not suitable for younger viewers, and I will be screen sharing from my iPhone. So, let's get to reading. In 3, 2, 1. Warning. This story contains impulsive storytelling and graphic visual images that are not suitable for children under the age of 15. Viewer discretion is advised. Here we go. Dear God, where are they coming from? Where? If you thought the THX and Zerg trailer was bad, there's another Lost THX trailer I discovered. I was having an Oreo ice cream, just being myself. When my mom came home, she found this DVD in the Lifeline shop. The DVD was called THX, THX and Randall. The cover consisted of the Monsters, Inc. trailers, Sully, Mike, Celia, and Boo looking around worried, while THX and Randall are in the background. I remember encountering a DVD, but with Toy Story characters, and THX teamed up with Zerg to eliminate Woody, Buzz, Bo Peep, and Jessie. I didn't bother hesitating, so I just went to watch it in my room once I finished my ice cream. I inserted the disc into my portable DVD to start watching it, and to add player to the sentence. Once the DVD started, it showed the Walt Disney Home Entertainment logo before cutting to the menu. The menu had the same design as the one from the THX and Zerg trailer, only that the Monsters, Inc. characters were in place of the Toy Story characters. The menu's options were even the same as said DVD. This guy needs to work on his grammar. I pressed play to watch the DVD to see what the trailer would look like. I pressed play before a warning came up. This trailer was made for the theatrical release of Babysitter Wanted, despite not being THX certified, and contains content that are not eligible for children to view. Please watch if you need to. This looks bad, I whispered to myself. The trailer started with a shot of a hotel at night, with clear walls. After about 4 seconds, THX and Randall came into the shot. Hey Randy, are you ready? THX asked with determination. I am, THX. I plan to be ready, Randall replied, grinning. Okay, it's starting to feel a little tingly here. The duo grabbed their weapons. THX got out his chainsaw as usual, and Randall grabbed out his handsaw. The two entered the hotel. It then cut to the dining room with the actors John Goodman, Billy Crystal, Jennifer Tilly, who turned out to be Sully, Mike, and Celia's voice actors. "Have you two heard about a psychotic robot going on the loose lately?" Crystal asked. No, but I heard about deaths of people going on," Tilly replied. "Maybe we should watch the news." "Good idea. Let's watch the news and hear what's happening," said Goodman. Goodman then grabbed a remote control on the table and went to turn on the television. It cut to the news channel with a woman who bared a striking resemblance of Ruta Lee talking about THX. "This just in. We have heard about the tragic deaths of many people, whose lives were taken by a robot. We have no proof yet, but here is some footage that we..." Before she could finish her sentence, the television suddenly turned off by itself. The three people then looked shocked and confused. "Hey, goodies," Tex said in a sing-song voice. The trio then turned and noticed that Tex was in the doorway. "How are ya?" Tex asked before chuckling. Are you the robot Billy was talking about?" Tilly asked. Tex's face grew to his usual cartoony grin before saying, "Yes, little lady, I am the robot he was talking about, but I am not alone." Randall then uncamouflaged next to Tex, grinning evilly. The three gasped in shock. "Does that lizard look familiar to me?" Goodman asked. Randall chuckled with glee. "Yes, I am the so-called lizard I remind you of. The name's Randall." Tex began to speak again. "Want to know what time it is?" "What is it?" Crystal asked. "It's time to have a party with a Tyrannosaurus Tex!" Tex shouted. Tex started up his chainsaw, and Randall held up his saw to kill the trio with. The trio ran in the middle of the bedroom to hide. Goodman locked the door so they can't get in. Tex began to chainsaw the door down, while Randall began sawing the doorknob to open it forcefully. The trio began to get scared, watching the chaos happen. Randall kicked the door down, laughing evilly. Just as he was about to march towards the people, he turned around to face Tex. "Hey Tex, why don't we trade weapons?" Randall asked. "Tex?" Randall asked Tex. "Randall, you are a genius," Tex chuckled. The duo then swapped their weapons around. Randall then charged up towards the trio to kill them with Tex's chainsaw. Just as Randall was about to kill Billy Crystal, it abruptly cut to the shot of a hotel from outside. I can only hear the sounds of the chainsaw buzzing, and the people's blood-curdling screams and blood flesh splattering. My eyes widened in shock watching that scene. What was I seeing? Why did this exist? The scene then cut to black, but the trailer wasn't over yet. It cut to a wide shot of the THX logo in the dark. At that moment, Sully, Mike, Boo, and Celia walked into the shot. "I was wondering where that door would lead to." "You could be a bit of an expert, Michael," Celia spoke. Boo worryingly pointed at the THX logo, speaking in baby talk. "Oh, this isn't something you need to worry about, Boo. It's just a statue," Sully told Boo, trying to calm her down. Mike then reassured the group afterwards. "Calm down, everybody. The door that is activated is right in that hallway. I'm pretty sure we'll be back by afternoon before someone will kill us. I don't think Randall would even be in..." Mike's sentence was interrupted by an evil echoing chuckle. Boo whimpered, already scared. Sully hushed her to remain calm. "It's okay, Boo. I got you," he said, trying to reassure her. The same chuckle was heard again. Celia already got worried. "Who's there? Show yourself!" she demanded. After the monsters and the little girl looked around for 5 seconds, Tex suddenly landed in front of Mike, sending him falling backwards. "Tex?" Mike questioned. Randall then unblended next to Tex. Boo gasped in horror at the sight of Randall. Randall! Sully growled angrily. How did you escape the human world? We meet again, Sullivan. We meet again, Randall teased, grinning. Alright guys, I am starting to feel a tingle right here. This is already getting way too scary and intense. Sadly enough, this is probably going to haunt me in my nightmares. I mean, after all, it is Halloween, right? Anyway, what are you doing here? Tex spoke. Sully and Mike walked towards the serial killers and glared angrily at them as the former put Boo down. Listen here, Randall. Kidnapping children? Scaring children? That is not right. You should never kidnap a child, never scare a child. Neither should you never kill a child. That is wrong. And worst of all, you're teaming up with a robot who turns out to be a psychopath. I don't scare children anymore. I saw a look on a petrified girl's face that told me to stop, Sully began. You heard what my friend said, Mike said. And for you, Red Robots, killing people over a petty reason is not right. If they were ever afraid of you or your company, just accept the fact they don't like you, or just ignore them. We will report you to the CDA and have you executed if you're going to keep this up. Randall chuckled evilly after hearing the two monsters talk. Do you think we'll be ashamed of ourselves, Wazowski? I don't think so, said Randall. Sully glared angrily and marched towards Randall to attack him, only for Tex to charge up and kick him in the face. Tully skid across the floor away from the group. He regained balance and got up weakly. Come and catch me, Sullivan, Randall teased, before camouflaging. Sully threw his arms around to catch where Randall's chuckles can be heard, before Sully's neck began to get crushed and choked by nothing. Sully! Mike and Celia exclaimed. Tex walked up to Sully, who was being strangled, laughing stupidly, holding a dagger. He then stabbed Sully in the chest and he bled to death and fell to the ground. Oh man. Oh man. Even when I'm not watching a video, this stuff already is gnarly. Anyway, Randall uncamouflaged before unwrapping himself around Sully's neck. Boo began to cry, looking at Sully's corpse, and shed dozens of realistic tears. Mike embraced her to comfort her. Tex then turned to the monsters and girl with Randall and said, which monster should the T-Man extinguish next? Mike, Celia, and Boo exchanged glances before darting off, as Celia picked up Boo to carry her. Go! Go! Randall ordered, before he and Tex ran after them. Quick! Mike exclaimed, as he and the team went to look for the door they went through. Celia then pointed to the wall. This way, she said. Not long after, Boo was snatched out of Celia's grasp by an invisible figure, before the former was pushed to the floor. Tex then dropped down in front of Boo, who let out a loud, ear-piercing, blood-curdling shriek once she saw him. The volume of Boo's shriek was so loud, I had to cover my ears before it stopped. Once I went to watch it again, I noticed the blood on my hands. Crap, I muttered. Boo's shriek made my ears bleed. I then cleaned my ears out with a tissue and went back to play the rest of the trailer. Hey, little girl, Tex said, chuckling. Boo whimpered, trying to back away before tripping back. What's this? A machine that Handy Randy didn't instigate on you? Tex asked as he held up the scream extractor. Randall watched in glee and evil, preparing to see Boo suffocate. Well, bottoms up, Tex exclaimed. He then clasped the machine over Boo's mouth as she began to let out a muffled scream as her screams were being extracted. Randall and Tex laughed maniacally, watching the little girl suffer. Mike and Celia stared in horror, watching the 3-year-old suffocating. The muffled screams went on and on before Boo fell to the ground, out of breath. It then showed the most heartbreaking scene in this trailer. Boo was on the ground motionless, and her face was pale white. "Oh no," Mike whispered. "Poor Boo," Celia whimpered. "Celia, we gotta get back to the monster world. There's no going back now," Mike demanded. He grabbed Celia by the hand, and the couple ran off again. Just then, Celia was hit on the back by the engine of Tex's chainsaw. She fell to the floor and groaned in pain. "Schmoopsy poo!" Mike exclaimed. Randall and Tex ran up to Celia while the latter held a dagger. "Hey, you leave my schmoopsy poo alone," Mike berated. "Googly bear, please escape alone," Celia moaned weakly. Celia was then stabbed in the eye by the dagger, killing her. My heart skipped a beat at that scene. Dear God, what have I seen? Mike gasped loudly, seeing his girlfriend's lifeless corpse. Okay. Tex and Randall then turned to Mike, facing him, before the former pulled out his chainsaw and started up to kill him with the latter held out to his handsaw. Mike screamed and ran away to evade the two criminals and escape. Tex began to swing his chainsaw around, laughing crazily as Randall tagged along. Mike then found the hallway to attempt to go through the door, but it was shredded in half by Tex's chainsaw. Mike ran again to find a place to hide, with Tex and Randall shredding everything they got in their way, such as decorations, walls, and even photos. Mike then found a wall that he can hide behind. He hid behind it to catch his breath, but lowered it so he won't get killed. "Oh, Wazowski, where are you?" Tex said in a sing-song voice. Come out wherever you are," Randall said. "We're not going to kill you. We are only going to hurt you very bad." Mike hid back behind the wall to avoid being caught and silently panted. Tex then put on his sensibility to calculate where Mike was, and he did. Hey Randall, I know where Wazowski is," Tex proclaimed. Okay. Mike widened his only eye in shock when he heard what Tex is. You mean where Tex is. Probably meant to correct that. Anyway, at that moment, Tex appeared right in front of Mike. Mike let out a short scream once he saw the evil robot right in front of him. "Time to have some fun with Tex," he said before chuckling evilly. Tex grabbed Mike by the left leg and flew off into the sky. The green Cyclops screamed as he was being kidnapped by the robot, before he hovered into the air. "Ready to go skydiving with the T-Man, Wazowski?" Tex teased. "No! I demand you to put me down properly this instant!" shouted Mike. Tex chuckled and pulled his cartoony grin after Mike said that. "Very well then, your wish has been granted." He then hit the ground, and the sound of bones breaking was heard, which could possibly mean his legs broke from the fall. Randall then stepped into the scene, holding a handsaw. Tex dropped down on the opposite side, holding his chainsaw. "I think it's time for you to say goodbye, Wazowski," Randall said before chuckling sinisterly. Mike could not get up as his legs were broken. "You know what? You two are monsters, as in psychopaths. I hope you have a fun time in hell for your actions." Mike shouted in anger. Tex then started up his chainsaw, and Randall twirled his handsaw around. Mike began to whimper at the sight. Tex got his chainsaw ready and sawed Mike's arms off, while Randall sawed his legs off. Mike began to let out a realistic, blood-curdling scream as he was being mutilated to death by the two criminals, while they laughed like crazy, torturing their victim. The criminals then backed away from Mike as he realized that he was completely amputated. His arms and legs were sawed off and blood was leaking from them. Mike slowly began to die as he bled to death, while his eye turned wide open and his mouth became agape. The scene then cut to black, but the trailer wasn't over yet. It showed just one more scene. It showed a shot of a wardrobe door being opened, revealing Thaddeus Byle holding a soccer ball and jacks. "Time to make some children laugh," Byle said to himself. Byle looked around the hotel room before noticing corpses of Goodman, Crystal, and Tilly. What happened?" Byle asked in concern. He dropped the soccer ball and jacks and went to investigate the entire hotel. This is where things get really, really dark. Anyway, he looked around the hotel to see who was responsible for the crimes, until he heard a chuckle echo through a hall. The chuckling came from Tex, who was standing next to Randall. "Hey there, Sparky," Tex mopped. "Where's your mommy?" Mr. Byle shivered in fear, seeing the grimdark faces of Tex and Randall through the corridor. "Your laughter days are over, but don't worry, I'll take good care of Monsters, Inc., Randall snickered. The two criminals ran towards Byle, with Tex starting up his chainsaw and chasing him with it. Byle gasped and ran away from the two serial killers. As he ran to the exit, Tex threw his chainsaw like a frisbee, and it hit against the back of Byle's head by Tex's chainsaw, causing him to receive brain damage and fall on the floor. Byle grunted while holding the back of his head in pain. Randall then crouched down and opened Byle's mouth wide open to reach into it. I began to hear the sound of flesh ripping while Byle let out a realistic, agonizing scream as I watched that horrible scene. Randall grinned evilly as he continued to reach down Byle's mouth before pulling out his tongue, with blood dripping out of it. Oh man, this is almost like manslaughter from the Devil's Rejects or Halloween. I already don't like this story. Anyway, Tex grabbed the tongue out of Randall's hand and performed a turkey slap on his face. "You've been turkey slapped, blue thing," Tex said with glee. Holy shit. Anyway, he pulled out his chainsaw to start it up to kill Byle, while the latter whimpered as he was about to die. Auf Wiedersehen, blue thing," Tex said. Once Tex swung his chainsaw down on Byle, it cut to black with him screaming, the sound of the chainsaw running and blood splattering. The trailer then reached its ending point. It showed a wide shot of the THX logo, and the screaming deep note raised and played. But instead of adult screams, it was entirely filled with children screaming. I widened my eyes in shock, hearing the traumatizing screams of random children. Just then, Tex dropped down into the shot, while Randall uncamouflaged next to him, and they grinned evilly. "Greetings, viewers. You won't believe what Texie did this time. He has killed 3 monsters in his hideout along with a little girl. Tex began. Okay, hold on. Alright, we're almost done. That's right. I even helped out for him, said Randall. So remember this, so-called Pixar viewers. If you are ever scared of me, Randall, or my company, we will track you down, Tex remarked. Randall then finished the monologue by saying, or even worse, I will extract your screams with my newly programmed scream extractor. Randall and Tex then spoke in unison before leaving. Have a good night and sweet nightmares. Tex pressed the button on his chest and flew off into the shadows, laughing evilly, while Randall walked away before the trailer faded to black. Okay. The famous THX slogan, "The audience is listening," was displayed on the screen for 10 seconds. I was appalled by the nature of this trailer. Hold on. I was appalled by the nature of this trailer, but I attempted to eject the disc out of my DVD player, but as soon as I was about to, one more picture came up. Okay, this is it. It was a close-up of Randall grinning, but he was stained in blood. He was drooling blood out of his mouth, and I could hear a loud shriek of a woman with a distorted version of Sully's roar. Okay. Alright, this is pretty scary. Okay. Yeah, this is the part that actually freaked me out most. Okay. Anyway, that image scared the crap out of me as I covered my ears due to how loud it was. The DVD then ended for real, and it took me back to the menu. I became extremely appalled after watching that terrifying DVD. I waited for my mom to come home at 2 p.m. so I can inform her about the DVD. Once she came home, I showed her all of the evidence, and we reported the DVD to THX, Disney, and Pixar. The former company asked for the DVD back, so we sent it back to them. I couldn't sleep the night either. I had many nightmares about Tex and Randall killing me in different ways and raiding my house. As always, Adam Kennington is responsible for this disaster. Please report a lost media that Kennington made. Please do. Alright. The end. Well, I am feeling uneasy right now. But I can tell you this, I ain't afraid of no ghost. Except that story was pretty scary. I had no... Not sure what the reason is for this story. Of course, it actually did scare the living shit out of me as well. I mean, it was fucking terrifying. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this unusual episode of RBGuitarWolf Reactions. I mean, after all, it is Halloween, right? So, thank you all so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to punch that like button in the face. Punch it good. And be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Links are in the description down below. And until next time, keep on rockin'. I'm gonna be playing a little smooth guitar to end us out.